Hi, today is January 28th, 2011. Here's a story I wrote, another one from many years ago. It was in 1976. I was 16. December 24th, 1976. Dear Santa, curb your lapidity and sit down, please. I wish you to read my letter and read it carefully. Actually, that might have been a good beginning, but I can't think of anything more to write. I'm sorry, but once you've started, you can't let the rest of the letter be a letdown. I can't go on with this letter if it's not going to be as good as the start. Good night, then. Happy New Year. Sincerely, Ted. That was how Ted Yaulker began and practically ended his letter to Santa Claus for 1976. Since Santa was his parents, he added a note at the end, "See you tomorrow," and went up to sleep, contemplating on the richness of his joke, and wah-wahing with an imagined audience of apple dumplings. The vision repulsed him promptly, though, and he fell asleep very quickly. In the morning, he woke up to the sound of the plumbing pounding, and it pounded every morning, and he put his feet on the ground, and they sounded much like pad, pad. Ted raised his arms, stood up, and stretched. He looked outside his window. It was semi-tired, occasionally annoying dark. What was annoying about it, Ted didn't know, but he read in a Faulkner book that it was, and in Babbitt Sinclair Lewis mentioned it, so it must have been true. He was always reading parts of books, parts of New Yorkers. He picked up a dinner bell from a shelf, he flipping it back and forth, stopping it right before it hit the sides, and put it down. He looked at the clock. It was 6:30. Ted had time to spare, so he fell asleep watching Sunrise Semester until his parents came and woke him up. His father had a crumpled piece of typewriting paper in his hand. "Ted, this is an undisciplined, plotless letter you've written for me. These dabblings into Faulkner, they are, don't you see, Ted, they are not," and he said this very articulately, "related." His mother didn't like it either. She leered at him with her teeth, which was the same expression she had in a photograph when she was pregnant with their first child. Ted, it didn't have universal style. "By God and by golly," his father said, "it's verstunkna." While Ted was dying 1,000 deaths on the couch, the dog Wildy scuzzled around near him and tried to make eye contact. He looked in her direction to see the pupils dart manically. The fur on her back had enough grease to fill 5 chock-full of nuts cans, and her constantly ingrowing toenails clicked. At this moment, this semi-dark, sad Christmas morning, Wildy was his only friend. His father raised a hand at paragraph 2. He hit it curtly. He attempted to snort. "Ted," his mother said. He looked up. Wildy burped faintly. "Yes, Mom, I'm here." "It really is verstunkena." Ted took up his wayward, undisciplined typewriter and began to write a letter to his rich cousin from a rich city. December 25th, 1976. Dear Cousin Strembach, I understand I can write virtually anything with virtually no point in my letters to you, so here I go. Here. I wrote the beginning of a great story for my parents and they don't approve. It's on the lawn. Tara, who we got by accident, is chewing it up right now. My brother is holding the third piece up for her. Ted was happy. He had related his fears, and he was going downstairs to open his Christmas presents. As he was going downstairs to open his Christmas presents, the phone rang. He answered it. "Phonegram for a Ted. That's me." "Ahem. Cousin Theodore, your cousin Strembach is dead." At this point, the author wishes to apologize for the emptiness conveyed in this short story. It was undisciplined. See you tomorrow. This was actually a little Christmas letter I wrote to my parents, and Cousin Strembach is based on my cousin Boland, who was an old man when I was about 12, and he sent a coin to each of me, both of my brothers, and to me. I was the one who answered and sent a thank you letter, and for the next few years he sent me his entire coin collection piecemeal. And he died when I was about 15 or so. He called once. I talked to him once. He called on his birthday. And my father handed me the phone, and I heard a voice saying, "Cousin Frederick." And I said, "Yes." He goes, "Your cousin Boland is 68 today." So the cousin Strembach thing, that's why he's like that. And my parents always encouraged my writing, and they were never harsh, and they rather liked this, but it's full of stuff that obviously it's references to people in my family. No one would know that Cousin Strembach always called me Cousin Frederick, and his name was not Strembach, it was Boland. Although there is a Strembach in my lineage.